What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. It's time for me to talk to my young black men out here. Listen up, y'all. Especially the young black men in my city of Chicago, Illinois, and any other black men across the United States of America, across the world, period. There is no future in gang banging. There is nothing prosperous about gang banging activity at all. Despite what the rappers try to portray to you all, they not rich and they didn't get a lot of money because they gang bang. They are rich and they getting a lot of money because they are talented at what they do. Now, of course, the gang banging activities attracted the attention of the masses, attracted the attention of people who may be like infatuated with gang life or street life or so on and so forth. But there's nothing prosperous about it at all. Gang banging leads to nothing but destruction, nothing but just all type of despair for not only one individual but the entire individual's family, right? Being in Chicago, Illinois, man, I didn't seen gang banging activity tear people's families apart, literally, right? I've seen people's mothers go crazy off of losing multiple children from gang banging activities, right? I've seen people's family members get killed because of the actions of one of their gang banging family members. Because unfortunately, a lot of people don't play fair by street rules, for real. And honestly, some people feel like there's no rules in the street. All's fair in war, right? In ignorant warfare. So that means if they can't get that one person that they're looking for, they're going to try to go after that person's family members, which is a horrific thing, period. I don't advocate for the demise of no black man at all, right? Unless he's out here preying on innocent people, preying on unless he's out here taking advantage of young children, doing all type of heinous activity. But like other than that, you know what I mean? I don't wish for the demise of no black man out here. You know what I mean? But I see it too many times, man. It's just a recurring cycle. And people think that, all this stuff in the streets is all funny and games. It's trendy, it's cool or whatever. It's not cool by any stretch of the imagination. Seriously, I've been around people who have been affected by it, right? There's nothing cool about having to live on an island. Living on an island mean like you can't go here, there. You can't even go to certain functions in your city that you probably want to enjoy and have a good time just being out and about because you gang affiliated. You in a gang. So your enemies could be at everywhere, any moment. You got to live your life looking over your shoulder every minute of the hour, every second of the hour. Seriously, that's not a good feeling, right? And in general, when you're walking around and you're walking through wherever you may live, people like to be aware, keep their head on the swivel, to be aware of their surroundings. But a gangbanger's lifestyle is completely different. Completely different. I grew up with individuals who are like heavily gang affiliated, and I've been around individuals who are heavily gang affiliated. Do y'all know when they drive and they can't go down certain streets, they gotta make a whole detour. Like you gotta be amazed for them to get home because they into it with blocks that are 5 and 6 blocks up the street. Right? Like, you know how crazy that is? You know how that they're in proximity to each other, so that means they're going to the same stores, we potentially going to the same malls, going to the same movie theaters, so on and so forth. Right? Why would you want to risk your life and your family's life in general? Right? We seen what happened with the young baby. What's his name? Was Tyshawn Lee, I believe. I hope I'm getting that young baby's name right, man. They killed that little boy. All because I believe, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, because his father was tied up into some street stuff. Do you see that? Like, you see what type of despair, what type of heartbreak that brings on a family. There's no future in that. There's no future in being locked down 23 hours of the day. You can't come out your cell until another man tells you to. You can't call your family until another man tells you to. You can't wash up until another man tells you to. You're a grown man. You can't talk to your family. You can't see them. You can't eat until another man tells you to do so. That's a horrific way to live. It's no honor in that at all. And, it looks cool to the masses and people who probably were raised in suburban communities, who were raised in the outskirts of urban America, the outskirts of the inner city. To them, not to everybody that was right. And I'm not saying everybody in the suburbs is infatuated with street life. But there are some. And unfortunately, because they're not living in their lifestyle, they think it's cool until you're placed into that. And you'll see how it's affecting the people around you. How it's affecting not only you, but your neighbors. People, neighbors be getting shot. Their neighbors' kids and grandkids getting shot because the person that live next door is tied into gang activity, and the person that's trying to look for them, they ain't trying to. They just shooting recklessly. They don't care who they hit. They just shooting, trying to get this one person and hitting innocent bystanders. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's and you know, and it's even kids in the city, in the inner city, who are infatuated with it because they think it's cool. And this is the thing, you know, when you're in that teenage age range, there's a lot of there's a mindset thinking, hey, if I'm in the streets, I'm gonna get a lot of the word that young, you know, the kids say clout. You're gonna get a lot of clout, you're gonna get a lot of attention, you're gonna get a lot of reverence from not only your peers, but from the girls, and you're gonna look cool, and you're gonna look like you got a lot of respect, right? But I'm gonna tell you one thing: when you get locked up, their respect go out the window. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, gang banging activity. You get locked up for some years, them same dudes that was respecting you, shaking your hand every day, they going after your woman, right? Your little sister growing up, they trying to have sex with her. You know what I mean? They forgetting all about you. They ain't writing you. They ain't picking up no calls. They ain't coming to see you. They not doing none of that. You might just get an Instagram post on Instagram, and he's posting you on Instagram and still trying to talk to your old lady, or is talking to your old lady. Old lady meaning your girl or your ex-girlfriend, whatever, right? There's nothing cool about being separated from your children and watching them grow up from behind bars, watching them grow up, and you're not there to have a hand on them and rear them in the right direction. And rear them off a line of negativity. Even worse, there are people who are locked up. There was street dudes, gang banging, and all of that. And it's ignorant other dudes, it's other ignorant dudes in the hood telling them what you did and how they was looking up to you, and you was such an honorable dude in these streets. And your kids or your son feel like he got to follow in your footsteps of ignorance. And the cycle continues. It continues. There's nothing honorable about gang banging at all. Leave that shit alone. Leave it alone. I've seen so much death in the city of Chicago when it came to these gang banging activities. Like, I understand, like, the drill music scene, it made it popular, it made it cool, right? And I'm gonna be real. I can be looked at as a hypocrite because I listen to the music all the time, right? Listen to it all the time. I was listening to all y'all favorite drill rappers. I was listening to them all, right? But at the end of the day, you have to understand that lifestyle, it's very, like, I've seen so many rappers in that lifestyle pass away and die in Chicago because they not just rapping. It's not just rapping, it's street antics and street politics being carried over on wax into music. And eventually, once too much is said, too much has been done, and ain't no turning back. And you know, they left to leave kids behind, brothers and sisters and families that was dependent on them. They was the breadwinners, bringing in a lot of revenue for their families, changing their lives. And unfortunately, they couldn't leave the ignorance behind, or they did too much ignorance that it followed them, and it was never able to get off of their back. It was like the monkey on their back, and it stayed on them. There's nothing honorable about running around in the streets, doing harm to your people, doing harm to your community. I've seen so many kids get lost in it, get lost in the sauce. Kids, it was even kids that came from good homes with good parents in a structured environment that wanted to hop in the streets because it was a cool thing to do, and they didn't have a mind of their own, and they couldn't be a leader to say, I'm gonna rise above that, I'm gonna leave that stuff alone. You can be cool without being street. You know what I'm saying? You can be liked and loved, and you can have girls like you without being a street dude and being ignorant in politics. You can be a cool dude without having a gang bang, without having to tote guns, without having to smoke. You don't gotta do all that. But I think it's people have been conditioned in the hood, a lot of young folks for real, to think that that's the only route that they can go in order to get a certain type of popularity, or even believing that's the only way to go to achieve some type of prosperity in life. It's all different type of avenues to change your life, to make a difference in your life, whether it be just providing social commentary like I'm doing, or learning a trade, getting a job and working on your craft or whatever you're doing. Putting all that energy into something positive rather than something negative that can lead to destruction, like gangbanging. There's nothing I can ever co-sign. I've seen it affect my family in particular. I've seen it and I've seen what it's done. And I'm like, yo, that's not cool. That's not cool, man. It's not cool to not be able to, like, even if you're not in jail and you walking around and you can't even enjoy yourself because you're so worried about if your enemies see you in this territory, right? I remember this too. I remember there was a Chicago rapper, and I'm not gonna say his name. I mean, it really don't matter, but I'm not gonna say the name. But it was a Chicago rapper that was at a hospital, right? He's sitting at a hospital with a girl, and his enemies take a picture of him. They sitting close and like they sitting like right across the thing where he can't even see them, and they taking pictures of him in there. And they could do whatever they want to do at that point, at any moment. And it's like you can't even be at the hospital. Your lady might need to go to the doctor, get seen for something, or you might need to go to the doctor or whatever for something, and you got enemies ready to get on that with you, possibly do all type of harm to you at any moment because you tied up in the street activity and you don't even see it coming. Or you at the hospital got to look around. No, I think that eventually I think he saw it and he looking around and all, like, it's just like, what? There's nothing cool about that at all, man. And I want my young black men to wake up, get out of that life of destruction. You know what I'm saying? We got all I got a 10-year-old daughter and a 9-month-old son, right? And I believe their generation is the generation that could change this world. And if we're gonna help cultivate these babies, we gotta lead that. Get that stuff out of our mental. Get that ignorant stuff out of these shorties now, right? All of that killing somebody over what neighborhood you from, what hood you from, what block you claim, blocks that we don't even own as people. They gentrifying the community anyway, pushing the black folks out, making them move out to the suburbs, pushing them out of the hood. The hood was once the butt of many people's jokes throughout the city of Chicago. The hood was looked down upon as the scum of the earth. Like, oh my God, why would you ever go to that south side? Why would you ever be out there on that south side? Why would y'all ever be even caught dead out there? Why would you even be going out of there? That same neighborhood they were talking down on, now they're trying to clean it up, spruce it up, renovate all the buildings over there, you know what I mean? And move all the black folks out of there and push everybody else in. Move all the black folks out of there, get them all up out of there, and push and make their way up in there. At one point, it was looked like they were saying they wouldn't be caught dead over there. Now they pushing you out. So you killing each other over blocks that you live on that y'all currently getting pushed out of anyway. It don't make no sense at all. And it's time for brothers to wake up, mentor these kids. Even if the kid ain't, even if it's not your child. If you see a child going down the wrong direction, try to help that child if possible. Because to me, like, even your kids' friends, like, I don't know, man, I always felt like a sense of duty to, like, and you can't change every kid. You can't change everybody. You can't reach everybody. Some people going to do what they want to do. That's just the way life unfolds, unfortunately. But I feel like, you know what I'm saying, my kids' friends, like, that's an extension of them because that's who they hang around. So I'm going to try to, if either they're not going to hang around them no more if they're doing ignorant stuff, or I'm going to try to change the kid and change that way of thinking. Because everybody, unfortunately, everybody don't come from a structured household or a structured family like your kids may be coming from. And so they may need their guidance. So I feel like it's my duty to help change these kids' way of thinking, man. When I came back to Chicago after grad school at Arkansas State University in Jonesboro, Arkansas, I came back to my community with a master's degree, and I was the only dude in the hood that had one, man at least. And I felt like a sense of responsibility for relaying the information that I learned and relaying the experiences to other kids and let them know it can be done. You can be in the hood and raised in the hood like me and still go to college, still graduate from high school, go to college, you know, get another degree after that, go and get a good job, work, you know what I'm saying, in corporate America, or start your own business, be an entrepreneur, and still live a prosperous life, be